Thank you. I'm happy to be able to share some work that we've been doing over the last week. As the governor indicated, the real need for speed on coming up with plans to address the economic recovery and the social recovery from this pandemic. And it's not just the economy, it's what it's every family, what it's doing to every community, what it's doing to our culture. So we are going to share with you today something that we've come up with as our framework for making decisions as we move through the various phases of economic and social recovery. These are I'm going to share just a few of the slides that's available in a whole slide deck, and you can see it all at our launch page for our website, and that is Recovery Navigator at hawaii.gov. So if you go to the launch page, you can access the whole deck. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through each of these selected slides, but be able to express to you what we're trying to do as we move to economic and social recovery. So this, and I don't want to make light of this, the pandemic gives us an opportunity to be very introspective and accountable for our future. So what we have to do is this unique opportunity to transform and challenge all of us, right? Connected, digitally enabled, collaborative, resilient, diversified, and engaged. This is what we're calling on each and every citizen to be able to do while we get through this. We hope to give you the framework for using this. Our guiding principles: health and safety first. Absolute. The governor's made it very clear. Public health has to be assured. That we will work in a collaborative, inclusive, and transparent manner, which is why we are in the process of setting up a very robust database online so that everyone will see everyone's opinions in a resource center. We'll fill it with data. We'll fill it with best practices, etc. And then we have to respect and incorporate Hawaii's values, unique sense of place, and way of life. This is a very high-level plan to reopen the economy. The first phase is what we're in now, and that's stabilization. So you can see what we're trying to do in stabilization, and I'll give you more of that later. But we really have to address the critical needs that are facing us now. Food needs, shelter, essential services, public health. As we move through this and we reach some stability, we can now start to plan on what we call reopening. And for that, even as we talk about reopening, we will have discussions about a phased approach and which types of businesses are best to start the economy again. 6 principles will guide the decision. We have to have clear priorities and goals, engage stakeholders and ensure transparency, use fact-based decision-making, leverage national and global best practices, consider federal, state, local, and private funding sources, and focus on the need for speed. We cannot slow roll this. We have to have answers. It may not be perfect, but we have to move. This is kind of the state policy priorities on stabilization. You'll see in the first column. Maintain the low infection rate, ensure availability of food, ensure adequate shelter, preserve and build system capacity, health system capacity, and keep the economy alive. As we move forward, there are various things that we have to do, and you'll see them all there. You're familiar with them, but a lot of them have to do with funding and health practices and equipment. As we move to the next phase, we'll have to open in phases. So the reopening gradually will set some priorities, right? Mitigate virus resurgence, reopen the economy, re-enter the workforce, support local businesses and nonprofits, return to school at the appropriate time, and open phased-in travel. We will have to come to some discussion and decisions on which businesses to open first. This has to be a soft opening of our state, not one for all. You look at the left side, healthcare readiness, that's the foundation. And for that, we rely on public health experts to say, when can we move? But we, as the economy and community navigator, have to look at preparing for that opening. So business preparation, public response, and government preparation. These are things that we're looking at now so that we're ready to open in a rational way when the time is right. We'll then get into recovery phase. After you pass the first reopening, we want to then increase the access to disease prevention. Continued phased-in travel, so you can see this is a ramped-up method. Support the full return of the workforce and reshape the economy. Finally, we'll get into resilience, and that's the future of Hawaii. Those discussions we hope to be very robust across our state in all settings, hopefully in person by that point, but maybe digitally. It'll be as required by the public health. So with that, I leave you with kind of a framework, and thank you, Governor, for giving us this chance.